You got a mighty fine lawyer. I need more. Anybody need more? I need more. Anybody need more? Father, I stretch my hands to thee. No other help. No other help I know. Say more Jesus. More Jesus. More Jesus. Sing more Jesus. More Jesus for
This is Pastor Griffin of Living the Promise Family Life Christian Center. I have a couple of my children here with me. We count it a privilege that you're able to tune into our broadcast today. I have my baby daughter with me. Tell them your name, baby.
Azariah.
Talia, my son.
Azariah.
Azariah, and my youngest son,
Josiah.
Josiah. And we just wish you would come visit the Promise with us one day. We're all about building families and people of purpose. We're having an awesome time at Living the Promise. And I know you're being blessed by our broadcast here on the television screen. But we also want to invite you to come personally to one of our services at 7347 Alabonson Road right here in Houston, Texas, 77088. Our service time is at 12:15, so you have time to make it. Matter of fact, you can watch one of these broadcasts and still get dressed and make it to one of our services. So we're going to take you into the message. Me and my family will be loving. I'll be happy to see you one of these Sundays. God bless you. Here's the message.
Of the promise. Then he said, celebrate where you are. Tell your neighbor, celebrate where you are. Celebrate where you are. You're in the plains of the promise. Somebody say the plains. The plains of the promise. Now, Israel here was weary and wandering, and they were wandering for 40 years, and their 40 years of wandering was about to be over. They have just now, when we pick up this text in chapter 5, they just crossed over the Jordan River, and now they're about to enter, oh God, into the promised land, the land that was promised to their forefathers 40 years, oh my God, ago. I mean, we've been talking about it for 40 years, and it is finally about to come. There was about to be no more moving the tents. There's about to be no more going to and from, no more fiery serpents, no more Amalekites to fight, no more wilderness. We're about to enter this land that we've been talking about for 40 years. The land that floweth of milk and honey. They're about to come into the promised land, the land that was promised. They were about to enter what God had promised them, but what's key here is what God promised them took them 40 years to get to. Many say that their journey was no longer than a route for 7 days or 14 days, somewhere in between there, but it took them 40 years to take this route. And some that will be watching from the outside looking in would ask the question, what's the hold up? What took so long? What's the hold up? Ask yourself, what's the hold up? What's the hold up? What's the hold up? And so we're looking at Joshua 5, verse 6, and it says that, we'll find the hold up here. It says, for the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness. Why 40 years? It wasn't supposed to take that long. What happened? Till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed. Because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord, unto whom the Lord sware unto them he would not show them the land. They walked 40 years because it was some people in their camp that was holding them up. Oh my God. They took a 40-year journey for what should have took maybe 2 weeks because some of them around them that God said they had to be consumed. He had to wait till they died off, until all the men of war were deceased before God could take them in. They were held up because of who was with them.
Oh God, come on now.
Oh God. Oh God. God said there's some stuff God wants to share with you. Some stuff God has shown you, and you've been waiting for so long, and you're crying out, God, what's the hold up? And God says some stuff around you I need to die first. Oh God, I need you to search your camp and you find out what's the hold up. You find out what's holding you back. Find out who's keeping you back. Find out, what am I waiting to die?
Yes, yes.
What am I waiting for? Something around me has to die. Something around me has to leave my life. What is the hold up?
Yes, yes.
God, you promised me, you said it, I heard it, it was your voice, but it's taken so long. What's the hold up?
Oh, bless the Lord, bless the Lord. Yes.
God says, I'm waiting for some things around you to die. Oh God, I'm waiting for some things to die. I'm also waiting for some stuff to die in you. Oh God.
Yes, come on.
Oh God, I can't take you into the promised area with that you got on. I can't take you in there with that attitude. I can't take you in there with that stuff you got. You don't like them and them. How can you love me whom you've never seen and hate your brother you see every day? That's not what the promised land is about. I gotta let that die in the wilderness before I take you in there.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
I can't let you take that into my promised land. I can't let you take the area that floweth of milk and honey. So there's some stuff that's got to die in and around you first.
Yes, yes. Hallelujah.
Before I bring you into the land of milk and honey.
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
Yeah, God.
Thank you, Lord.
God said, what's been holding you back, though, is about to not hold you back anymore. Jesus. 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 What's been holding you back all this time is not about to hold you back anymore. That's why you're experiencing something, because I'm cutting away everything that's been holding you. Oh, God, help me today. Everything that's been holding you back, I'm chopping with an axe right now. Oh, God. God, I'm causing it to die because it can't go where I'm about to take you. People that have been attached to you can't go where I'm about to take you. So I'm going to have to cut them off too, because I'm taking you somewhere where everything can't go. Help me, God. I'm causing it to die in you because it's not good for where I'm taking you. I'm causing it to die in you because it's not good for where I'm about to take you. The promise can't come until some stuff dies. Oh, God, help me today. The promise can't come until some stuff dies. They were wandering for 40 years, and God said it's going to be that long because I'm waiting for them to die because they can't go. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, the promise can't come until some stuff dies. So God says, for me to get you to the place to where there's no hold back, you got to let me cut. Oh, God. If you want to get to the place where there's no more hold up, no more delay, then you got to stop crying when I cut. Oh, God, help me today. We get to crying when he's cutting, and he said, I'm cutting to let you free. Help me, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So here we are, the nation of Israel. They were wandering for 40 years. years, and they now have arrived on the other side of the Jordan. This is what we pick up in chapter 4. I think they were crossing the Jordan River. You know, the enemies were swallowed up. The water spread the Red Sea. They crossed over. The enemies came behind them, swallowed them up. Now they're on the other side of the Jordan River, and now they're in the plains of Jericho. This is where we are right now. And so they crossed over this river, and God said, now there are no more holdups. Everybody's died. I done put you on the other side of the river and then swallowed it up. So now even your enemies behind you, swallowed up. They can't even attach themselves to you no more. They can't have no hold on you no more. Egypt can't hold you back no more. Egypt's reproach has been removed from you now. So now the hold up is free.
Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
Somebody say no more hold ups.
No more hold-ups.
Their crossing the Jordan River was a great miracle and one of their last obstacles before they finally reached this promised land. Oh my God. Oh my God, it was one of their final obstacles. Do I got anybody in here that ever felt like the things that I was going through felt like crossing a river? I mean, I've been going through some stuff where I didn't know how I was going to get over it. I've been going through, I didn't know if we were going to get through it. I thought it might swallow me, Pastor. I thought it felt like I was neck deep. I knew I didn't know how to swim. I thought I was like to drown. I don't know how I got over, but so glad I made it.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
I almost gave up. My feet couldn't touch the ground. I didn't know if I was going to land or not. I thought that I was going to be swallowed. I was crossing the river.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
I was crossing the river, and somehow, some way,
Oh, hallelujah.
I made it.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
I made it. Somehow I made it. Somehow I made it over. Somehow I made it through. Somehow when I look back, the worst of it is behind me now.
Oh, hallelujah.
I don't know how I got through it or how I got over it. I thought I was still in it, but when I look back, the worst of it
Thank you, Lord.
is behind me now.
Amen. Yes, yes. Thank you.
God said, I've taken you through
Thank you,
the
Lord.
river. I need somebody that's glad they made it. I mean, tell your neighbor, I'm so glad I made it. I've been through something. I've been through the fire. I've been through the flood, but so glad I made it.
Thank you, Father. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
I made it through. Somehow I made it through. The river was open and it was swallowing up other people and it was getting to my neck. But when I started walking a little bit further, it started going to my chest. And as I kept walking, it got to my waist. And as I kept walking, it was at my knees. And when I looked back, I said, wait a minute, the worst of this is behind me. I may not be all the way out of it yet, but it's not in my neck no more.
Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
God.
Thank you, Father God. Thank you, Lord.
And so, verse 6 said that, they were waiting for the men of war to be consumed because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord, unto whom the Lord sware that he would not show them the land which the Lord sware unto their fathers that he would give us, a land that floweth of milk and honey. And so look at verse 7. And in verse 7 he says, and the children whom he raised up in their state, the next generation, them Joshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised because they had not circumcised them by the way. So since they've been coming out of Egypt, they had not done the circumcision. So they got about 40 years of people that came up now, the new generation that have not yet been circumcised. So they waited till all those from then that came out were already circumcised, died away. And now we're left with the new generation of uncircumcised. So Joshua takes the new ones and circumcises them in verse 8. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their place in the camp till they were whole. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now, the children of Israel had just been through something. They've been through all of this stuff through the wilderness 40 years. They've just come through the river. I mean, this is an experience, right? They were running from the people of Egypt, and they were running, and then they got to the water and was like, oh my God, we're trapped, we're surrounded. And Moses had to put out the rod, the Red Sea, and save them. They got across the river, and then their enemies were coming behind them, and then the walls fell down of the river and swallowed them up. Woo! Ooh, they're so glad they made it.
Amen.
So they've just come through this. They've just come through this. But now they had to be marked. Oh God, they had to be marked. Somebody say marked. Now they had to be marked to enter the promised land. They had to be marked that they were his people, God's people, in order for them to possess the land. See, none of them carried the mark. The mark of the covenant was the circumcision. Those had died away. So now this new generation don't have the mark. So before they can get the promise, they got to be marked with the covenant of circumcision. Okay, so they don't have the mark. So this mark here, God has to give them before they can enter in, right? They don't have the mark, they can't go. So the promised land is for those of God's people. God's people were identified by the circumcision. So they had to be identified. So in order for them to be identified, they had to be cut. Oh, help me, God. In order for them to qualify for the promise, before they get in, they had to be cut for the promise. Help me today, God. They had to be cut for the promise. They needed to be shown that they were his. Many times we go through tests and problems and we blame everything on the devil, and God is saying, I'm cutting you for the promise. I got to stamp you to show your mind so you can fit in what I'm about to give you. They were being cut for the promise. Oh, help me, God.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, circumcision is the cutting away of something. It's the cutting away of skin. So God was cutting away of something in order for you to fit in the promise. Oh God, help me today. Help me today. Everything ain't the devil. Tell your neighbor, everything ain't the devil. Everything ain't the devil. God was preparing them for the promise. And in order to prepare them, he had to cut them, and they had to stay in their tent till they were whole.
Oh, hallelujah. Come on now. Yes, yes.
They had to be cut and stay in their tent till they were whole, because God was preparing them for the promise. Oh my God, too many times we cry and we squirm when God is just preparing us. Too many times we want to give up, lay down when God is just preparing us. We claim it's the devil, we claim it's them, when God is just preparing us for, help me God, the promise. Oh, y'all help me today. Oh, I woke up excited when God dropped this in my spirit, because I've preached something like this before for other churches, but he never told it to me about myself. And so when he dropped it in my spirit, my feet got to move, and I said, God, I can thank you now. I can celebrate now, because you're preparing me for. Oh, somebody say the promise. The promise, the promise, the promise. The cutting was preparing them. It was a step from God for them to inherit what God had promised their forefathers. And see, so God promised it to the forefathers, and the forefathers were identified by the circumcision. Now they are not the ones God promised it to, but they are the seeds of, so they are reaping an inheritance for something that belonged to somebody years ago. But in order for them to reap the inheritance, they had to show that they belong to them, and that is the circumcision. God won't give everything to anybody. Sometimes when you get the things of God, the inheritance of God, the promises of God, you'll have to go through something that shows you are his.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
If it was easy, then everybody would be in line up for the inheritance, in line for the promise. But God said they got to go through cutting so I can mark who is mine.
Bless him, Lord.
There's a stamp of approval that'll come before you enter the promise. Oh God, there's a test that will come before you enter the promise. There's approving that will come before you enter the promise, because you got to be cut for the promise.
Hallelujah. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Help me, God.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah.
You can't enter the promised land if you're not cut for the promise. Oh God.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, your season of testing will come, and then you won't be able to enter the land if you're not cut for the promise. You missed the first cut, you got to wait for the second cut, because you can't enter the promised land if you're not cut for the promise. Oh, help me today, God. Help me today, God.
Yes.
They wanted to go, they had to be cut to show their fit for the promise. Let me keep going so I can get out of here. Okay, where am I at? Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. God, I can preach for, oh man, I can stay right. This day I rolled away the reproach from Egypt from off you. Everything that has been on you, trying to attach itself to you, trying to hold you back, trying to pull you back, trying to keep you back. This day I rolled that off your back. I pulled that monkey off of your back. I've released that thing off of your back. This day I've rolled back that reproach.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hey God.
Thank you.
I've released it off of you. I've rolled it off from you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day where you are. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month, and even in the plains of Jericho. So here we are. They've crossed over the Jordan River. All right. And once they crossed over, the river swallowed up, and God says, now I have canceled the reproach of I've cut it. They on the other side, swallowed up, they're gone. I've cut off and rolled off the reproach, that burden that's been over your head, that dark cloud that's been following you, those strains and changes that's been trying to pull you. I've rolled that off of you this day. Now you're on the other side of the river, and they down there consumed. I've rolled it off of you.
Yes.
And now you're in a land now called Gilgal. You're in Gilgal now. You've crossed over. You're in Gilgal now. And Gilgal was the place where they were now on the other side, and they encamped there. They stayed there. And the Bible says Gilgal was in the plains of Jericho. Jericho was the promised land. That was the place that God had promised them 40 years ago. Gilgal was in the plains. The plains is an area that is nothing living. It is sterile. Can't nothing live. It's more like a desert. It's like a desert valley. It's connected by a river, but the water goes and streams by the river. So there's no vegetation, no life, no nothing. So it's like a desert. So there are no trees. Can't nothing grow. The bad thing is you say that's a desert. Well, it's not good. But the good thing about it is nothing can grow to now obstruct your view of the promise. Where they are now is in plain sight of everything God promised them. And there's nothing but standing between where they are and what God promised them. Not a tree, not a shrub, nothing they got to look over, go under, go above. Nothing is in their way. They are in the plains of what God, oh my God, promised them. Oh. Somebody say you're in the plains of the promise. The plains. They were in the plains of what God had promised them. So now they're not fully out of the wilderness, but now they are plainly in sight of what God has promised them. I can see now that I've been praying for 40 years. I can see now that we've been hoping for. I'm not there yet, but I can see everything. Oh God, I can taste the milk and honey now. I can smell it from here. I can just, I feel like I can touch it. It's within my reach. It's in the plain sight. I'm in the plains of everything He promised me.
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
I'm right there. I'm right there. I'm right there. Tell your neighbor, I'm right there. I'm right there. I'm in the plains of everything that He promised me.
Glory to God. Thank you.
Oh, help me today, God. I'm in sight of the promised land. Jericho is now within my fingertips. It's at my reach. I can see the promise now. Now, I'm not out of the promise. I'm not in it, but I'm so close, God. I'm so close now, God. I won't let nothing stop me now. I won't let nothing distract me now. I'm in the plains.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you.
And so now that they made it this far, the promised land is now in sight.
Oh, now, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Some would expect that.
My God, what an awesome word. I pray you learned something. I pray you enjoyed yourself. Listen, I mean, you got to come check us out one Sunday. Listen, our service are at 12:15. We get there at 12 noon and have intercessory prayer. You want to come check us out. the word is real. Listen, we were just talking about, oh my God, this word that you just heard today, I know it blessed you. I hope you took some notes and you had your notepad ready and you got some notes out of it, because you want to go back and visit some of those scriptures. And if you need, you can always call us or write us or Facebook us and get the actual whole sermon on DVD or CD. That way, if it was something you missed, you can always go back and get it. And we can't play everything right here, so there's more to it. So I hope that this blessed you. Again, if you want to get the entire message, you can always get that from us. But we also invite you to come visit us at 7347 Alabonson Road in Houston, Texas. We would love to have you worshiping with us. You would absolutely enjoy the service. You would absolutely enjoy the worship. You would absolutely enjoy the word. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope to see you next time. God bless you.
God's perfect plan.
How many promise kids? Well, where we are about building families and people of purpose. Our dad's the pastor and our mom is the first lady.
So bring your families and come worship with us one Sunday at 12 noon.
We would love to see you there.
If you have been enjoying the words that you've been hearing, the ministry that we have been providing here on the television, I would encourage you to try to look us up at livingthepromiseministries.org or call us by phone 713-302-7325 and sow a seed into our ministry. We're on television. We're sowing seeds throughout television, but how many of you know it costs to do ministry? It costs for us to do what we're doing. And if it is being a benefit to you, if it is being a blessing to you, then by all means, I would ask that you would sow a seed into it, because whatever you plant, you shall reap, and you will reap a harvest for a seed you've sown in fertile ground. Now, if you don't feel the ground is fertile, then you shouldn't sow a seed in it. But if this is benefiting you, then you recognize that the ground is fertile. I invite you to put a seed in this ground that will spurt up and bring out a harvest back for you. Your investment in this ministry allows this ministry to be broadcasted into all the families that may need it, that can't make it to our worship service. So if we've been a blessing to you, listen, I need foundational partners that would help Living the Promise stay on the air, preach the word of God through radio and television to get the message out to those that can't make it. If you could be a partner with us, I would love you to be on our side, and I would keep you in tune with everything we're doing. So please consider sowing a seed into Living the Promise.
We're the Butlers, and we've been looking for a church home for a long time until the Family Life Christian Center here welcomed us with open arms, and we appreciate you, Pastor. Thanks for having us.
Love you, Pastor.
Hello, we are the Crowder family. My name is Hamilton, this is Nicole, this is Jada, this is Darius, and we have been a part of Living the Promise, Family Life Christian Center for 5 years. We have enjoyed everything. Our pastor and our first lady have taught us so much, and we've learned so much about ourselves and much more about the Spirit of God.
Living the Promise Family Life Christian Center is a fresh and new ministry that God has founded and formed to reach and impact the everyday person and bring them into purpose that they may find destiny for their lives. Our primary focus is getting one to see who they are in God so that they may experience the promises of God. Recognizing that our spiritual journeys are all different, we strive to be respectful and inclusive concerning each individual's relationship with God. We shed light upon the Word of God, the power of God, and the laws of God, giving one that may not know much a clear view of who God is. Visit us online for service times or call us if you have any questions.